Bar Group, raising the bar in real estate. Your Lake Highlands, Lakewood, Preston Hollow pros. You can find them at thebargroup.com. Unparalleled customer service for your real estate needs. The Bar Group.
As a chef and restaurateur, I'm very passionate about great food, but also very, very hassle-free cooking. Charbox is the only 100% portable, recyclable, all-natural, and hassle-free grill that burns hotter and longer than a 15-pound bag of traditional charcoal. This gives you and your family a chance to enjoy great cooking anywhere you go. Best of all, it's 100% manufactured in the USA, and it's already on its way to generating 150 new jobs. Like a burger fits a bun.
Coming through.
How are we doing today? You've got
If doing any better, I'm going to come back in the NBA.
Yeah, I'm just going to go right to this man. Here's the deal. Here's what we got here. We've got the legendary Mr. Sires, Rick Barry. That's all there is to it. And we have nothing in common except pickleball. And guess what this guy is? The Rick Barry. He's a Kappa Sigma from Miami. I was a Kappa Sigma at Southeastern Oklahoma State, and we love pickleball. Right, Rick? Right, Mr. Barry?
Well, no, call me Rick, please.
Yes, sir.
No, pickleball is great. I played 2 hours this morning before I drove down to Naples to get ready for this event tomorrow.
All right. Well, let's get started. The way of pickleball. Tell us what, when, where, why. I know you've been playing it for a while, but just let all our viewers listen and know.
Well, after I retired, the thing I missed, more than anything else is the competition. And so I had to find something else to do to compete, not just to find things to do. I got into world long driving competition, and I won 4 world long driving championships. And then they got rid of the old farts, and so I had to find something else. And my wife said, "Well, have you tried pickleball?" And I used to play a lot of tennis, but tennis just got to be too hard on my body. And I tried pickleball, and I hated the kitchen when I first started, but I realized without the kitchen, you really couldn't play the game. It'd be a joke. And I really got into it. And so I made a goal for myself that I wanted to win a national championship, either US Open, USA Pickleball Nationals, or the World Seniors. And so I played about 2 years, and I wasn't going to go play until I felt I was ready to have a chance to compete and win in my age and skill category, and my skill level kept increasing. And so one day, a buddy I know, Jeff Johnson, that I was playing pickleball with and got to know well,
Yes, sir.
he calls me up and says, "Rick, would you want to play with me? There's a tournament going to be, happening down, south of us. Do you want to play?" And well, yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, first of all, 50, right? So it means I'm going to play against guys 20 years or more younger than I am.
Whatever, you're Rick Barry.
I got off the phone. I said to my wife, I said, "Honey, I think I made it." She says, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, Jeff called me and asked me to play in a tournament." And, and I said, "He doesn't like to lose." I said, "He's not going to ask me to play if he didn't think I was good enough." And so she said, "Well, I'm assuming you said yes." I said, "Yeah, obviously." So I played with him down there, and we won the tournament.
Of course you did.
That was kind of awesome, and it was good for my confidence, because the biggest thing in anything you do in life is to have confidence, because one of the big things for me is the word pressure is used so often and so misused. Because if anybody talking about pressure, if you really understood pressure, you wouldn't talk the way that they talk about it. Pressure doesn't exist unless you lack confidence in your ability to do what it is you've trained to do. And you hear the word, so it's probably the most overused word in sports lexicon. Pressure this, pressure that. I just heard somebody doing an interview after a match with my son was playing over in Jeddah, over in a 3x3 World Tour Championship that he's involved with. And somebody interviewed a guy after. He said, "Well, the pressure had to be on." I said, "Wait a second. I try to relate to this. If you are really confident in your ability to do what you're supposed to do, you thrive for those situations. What you're faced with are situations that are critical at times. Okay. Make the presentation, biggest presentation for your company ever, and you're a salesman. Okay. You should be living for that. You should die. You should, God, that's the best thing that can happen to me. I get to do what I know I can do, and it's important. And that's, to me, if I could control every game I ever played in the past and do it over again, I would want every game to come down to the last 10 seconds. The game's on the line. I want the ball in my hands. Now, was I going to be successful every time? Obviously not. But I thought I was going to be successful every time, either making the basket or getting it to my teammate or doing something well. Why? Because I had confidence in my ability and I trained for those situations. I lived for those situations. So I go nuts when I have to listen to this pressure all the time. Pressure this, pressure that, pressure that. And guys saying after pressure, yeah, well, the pressure was really on. And I'm telling them right now, I'm saying right now, if the pressure was really on and you felt the pressure, chances are you would have choked like a dog,
Yeah.
because it happened to me. It happened to me, and that's why I talk so definitively about it, because it happened to me in the Superstars competition. You may be too young, or a lot of your listeners are too young to know about it. But it was a competition on TV that they had with athletes from all different sports competing in this, what they call the Superstars competition. You had to choose 6 of the 10 events that they had to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
And I got asked to go and do something in the retired division. And I did it, and I qualified. They said, Rick, we're going to, what's your schedule like? This is like going to be in June or something. I was done with playing basketball. I'd been retired. And so I was broadcasting, and I said, I can do it, but I'm going to have to do the 6 events on Saturday. I have no choice. I can't pick the ones that I want on Sunday because I have to be at a playoff game up in Boston. So I went in, I competed on Saturday in the 6 events there with no choice.
Uh-huh.
I get to the last event, which is golf, which at one time I was a very good golfer.
Oh man.
I got down to a 1 handicap. I was probably about a 5 at the time. But I at that time, I got so frustrated with golf, I had stopped playing golf.
Yeah.
I stopped playing because it was too dang hard and driving me crazy.
Yeah.
So it's a 125-yard hole, simple little nothing, nothing, not even a full wedge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing against guys that are there that I know that if I went out to play golf with them every day, we played for money, I could probably make a living off of that. Okay. And so I get up there now I hadn't played. And so my golf confidence, my game was non-existent.
Yeah.
I went out and hit some balls and did stuff, but now the guy comes up to me. I said, well, why are you worried about where I'm going to be? He said, well, here's the deal. And this is what changed everything.
Uh-huh.
We know you're a good golfer and all. And if you win this competition, the worst that can happen is you're going to tie for first place in the overall championship. Well, now all of a sudden that changed that changed the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
It's just not going out and hits the balls and competing in that event. No, it's a chance to be the only retired guy to ever have won the superstar competition.
How do you consider yourself
And
retired?
that's what I'm talking about.
You're not retired.
No, I mean, oh God. And I choked like a dog.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I shanked 2 balls. It was the worst experience of my life athletically. I'll never
sorry.
forget it. It will haunt me to the day I lie. Thank the day I die. Thank God I have the ability to compartmentalize stuff and put things on the back burner like that I don't really think about. And I'm talking about it now, but just didn't even thought about it enough to make me want to get sick, because I take great pride in what I do.
Yes, sir.
And that was the worst moment of my life athletically.
Well, we're speaking to Rick Barry, the legend on the court, pickleball court, obviously the basketball court. And right with me, we have a good friend, a local guy named Glenn Gant here with us. He wants to say hi to you, Mr. Barry. He's a big sports savant here. We're speaking with Mr. Rick Barry. So let's talk about what type of do you endorse pickleball wise? Do you have a favorite brand you like to use, or
Well,
anything you like?
I right now I'm using Selkirk paddles, which
Yes,
I love. I love their new Invicta,
Mhm.
the one that they have. That I just get so much confidence. I've actually changed my game as a result. That
Good.
I'm getting so much great topspin. The game was dinking and whatever, but now bangers came
Yeah.
along. Well, I'm banging a lot of balls
I can
now.
see
I
that.
mean, I really have a lot of confidence in hitting that. I'm working on trying to get my backhand topspin as good as my forehand. And my serve has become a weapon as a result of it, which usually the serve is not necessarily a weapon. But for the first time this year, I got into playing singles because
I
you
was
have
gonna
to have
ask you about
goals in life. It's hard for me to believe that I'm going to be fucking 80 years old next year, but I feel like I'm in my 50s. Thank God for that. But my goal is to win the Triple Crown in either of those 3 tournaments, either U.S. Open, USA Pickleball Nationals, or the World Senior Game. So I had to play singles to do that, and I hadn't played at all. I thought it might be too hard on my knee because I had 4 knee operations and all. But thank
Yeah.
God to this product that I use called Biogenesis. My knee has been amazing. So
There you go.
I'm playing, and I know in singles, if your serve is a weak serve, you're at a disadvantage because you have to wait until that return bounces. And so if a guy can control that serve, he can move me all over the court and make it difficult. But if I'm hitting a serve that's tough and he can't control, I have a bit of an advantage in singles without question.
So you like both?
That's
you like all singles, doubles. Next question was you like singles, doubles, or mixed, but apparently you like all three. And why is it? Do you find?
Well, no, I like all three.
Yeah,
the problem with the other is that the reason I went to singles is, again, I like it. It's all on me. Right?
Yes, sir.
I can be as hard on myself as I want to be. You got to be supportive of your partner. You got to hope your partner's on their game, because you're not going to win in doubles or in mixed doubles if your partner isn't playing at a high enough level. Because I've played in mixed doubles matches, won tons of stuff in a bunch of other tournaments that I played in a lot because of the companies that I'm with Medica Leaf and my Ultimate Repair X sponsors the PPA. And I played in those events, a lot of them, over the last few years. I stopped doing it because, first of all, it takes way too long to have to play. You sit around for an hour and a half doing it. The competition isn't all that good. And so it got a little bit frustrating doing that. And so, and so that's the problem that you have with playing in a lot of those other events. So this is why I've made the goal to try to win the Triple Crown and play the singles. And I've got some great partners. Doug Eden, he was a top junior tennis player growing up, and I played with him a lot. And he's the one that's been working with me on my singles game.
Name drop your partners too.
I got a silver in the USA pickleball. Let me see, was USA pickleball? No, I got a silver in the first one I played. Yeah, I think it was the USA Pickleball Nationals. I got a silver medal, so I was really happy with that.
Glenn, I think he's got a lot of medals and stuff. What do you think?
I think he's pretty accomplished on that.
Yeah, well, here's the problem.
Where do you put it?
They need these tournaments, and especially the majors. They got to step their game up.
Yeah.
They got to get a better.
Yes, sir.
Some of the medals that they give out are so chintzy. It's just ridiculous. It's so sad.
Yeah. Well,
come on, give out something meaningful to some of these people. I mean, my big thing is it's just a matter of just the competition and trying to win.
Yes.
And so, as I say, in one of the mixed doubles tournaments I played in, I hardly ever saw a ball. They'd hit everything to my partner, and I don't blame them, because you're trying to win, and you're gonna. What do you do in sports? You exploit the weakness of your opponent, right?
Exactly. Hey, so out of all your endeavors so far, Rick, what's your favorite thing? I've got PBX on here, the event you're at now. Tell us a little bit about that, and then USA Pickleball. Let us know. Tell us what you're doing those.
Well, PBX has been started up, and it's kind of an interesting concept. It's all former professional athletes in all different sports, men and women. And they get a nice group of people. Hopefully more and more people are going to realize there's an opportunity, because what's going to happen is, over the years, I've played in so many pro-am events and golf and tennis. It's going to happen in charity events. It's going to happen now in pickleball. It's starting to happen. So we're going out and we're playing this event. People get to play with us, and they get to see some competition and some matches and what have you. But it's going to become a big deal for raising money for charities, and they're going to do it with pickleball, because it's the fastest growing sport ever in the history of the world, of any sport. Nothing ever has happened and exploded like this has exploded, which is great. And I'm involved in companies. Pickleball Connections is one of the companies I'm involved with. They got one coming out pretty quickly called Pickle Zone. In fact, Scott Moore just is going into the Pickleball Hall of Fame, one of the most decorated, and won probably maybe more tournaments than most any player in the history of the game. He's a partner in it. So it's really exciting what's happening to be a part of this. And some of the products I'm involved with, Go Sleeves is another one, and Disaleaf, and Ultimate Repair X, which is part of Allo MD. I mean, just so many different things. And of course, the great paddles with Selkirk and what have you. And I've also right now been wearing Tyrol shoes. In fact, I'm happy they're going to be at this event down here. And I love their shoes. I mean, so yeah, I'm really excited about the sport. Great opportunities for people, a tremendous amount of fun, very social if you like it to be social.
Yeah.
For me, I love to compete, but I also realize that, at times when you do things, you got to go out there and just, have some fun with some people. But if I'm going to go into a tournament, I'm going into a tournament not to be social.
Nope.
I'm going into the tournament to win.
Yep. So, tell us a little bit about the national tournament that we were at. We were there too. Too bad I didn't get to see you there, but tell us about how you did in the national championship here in Dallas.
Well, I picked silvers, the bronze, and I was happy with our mixed or our men's doubles, because I played against Jim Hackenberg. He's a Hall of Fame pickleball player. He's great. He wins most everything, especially in the mixed. He and his wife win almost all the time. and they're very tough, and so it's great competition when you get a chance to play against guys like that. But he and his partner in men's doubles, we were the only team to give him a really good battle. We gave him a pretty good battle. We only lost, I think we lost 15,
Who'd you
13 or
play with?
something like that. Nobody else even got double digit points against them in any of the games. And so we wound up with silver in there with my partner, Fred Shuey out of San Diego. And but next year I'm excited because Fred and I are both turning 80, and so Hackenberg and his partner are still in the 75 to 79. So I won't have to deal with those guys. We might have to still play them. They're probably going to combine, but as far as my skill and age category, we should have a good chance of winning in that category. So we'll see. And I'm excited because I don't know if you remember, you guys again are young, but back in Billie Jean King days,
Oh yes, like Glenn.
Oh, yeah. And all the back in those days.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Alice Tim, who was ranked 13th in the world back in those days,
No
who
way.
wins tons of medals in table tennis, has committed to be my partner for the World Seniors and for the USA Pickleball Nationals. So she's going to be my partner, which I'm excited about. And if we're going to get a chance to play some together this winter, she'll be down in Florida, and we'll get a chance to play a little bit together. But she said, Rick, I can't play with you in the U.S. Open. I've played with somebody a bunch of years. I can't drop them. I said, okay, Al, that's all right. And so now I'm hunting for a partner who's at least a 4-0 or better player to play with in
our listeners are hearing this.
US Open coming up in April.
That's great. What's so far? What's your favorite memory with pickleball thus far in your journey? What's one that comes to your mind? Everybody would like to hear about.
Any time I win it's great. That's always a good thing. I would say I probably was happiest about the fact of being able to get a silver in my first the big tournament with this year playing in singles. So that was kind of cool. It's not often that I'm happy to come in second, but but it was still pretty good. And a bunch of tournaments. I've won a bunch of tournaments and major things with Fred Shuey. But I think probably the biggest accomplishment was a couple of years back. I played with I played in the World Seniors, and and we were playing. We were playing in 5-0.
Yeah,
and it was, man, I'll tell you that there's some good players. Hackenberg was involved in that. And I'm trying to think of who else is in there. Bob Costanza, another really outstanding player that plays that age category. My partner that I've actually won the World Seniors with 2 years in a row, Carl Tietze, who's a really outstanding player as well. And then I also, and that year when we played, it was kind of interesting. But I played with Ted Meyer, and Ted Meyer is a 5-0 player. So we played the best 5-0 70 to 74-year-old players. And we won the gold medal. So that was probably the best accomplishment for me, to play with players of that caliber. I love playing against best competition. I mean, going out and winning a gold medal in a tournament where the people aren't very good is no big deal. It's kind of boring, actually. I would rather lose to a good player in a tough match than win an easy match against someone who isn't very good.
Iron sharpens iron.
What's that?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. So, who's your favorite player right now, Rick?
In pickleball?
Yes.
I think I got to meet Anna Lee
and
her mom a couple of years ago, and I said first to the mom, I said, I'm jealous of you. She's,
yes.
What? Jealous of what? Well, you have all your boys, played basketball. I said, yeah, but I didn't play professionally with them. You played and won gold medals playing with your daughter. How unbelievable is that? She said, yeah, well, my time is about up, though, Rick. And sure enough, she wound up getting hurt, and she's not really played anymore with Anna Lee. And I said to Anna Lee, I want to tell you something, that you are accomplishing something that is never, ever going to be accomplished again. She said, what do you mean? I said, no 15-year-old, 16, 16-year-old girl is ever going to come along in the sport of pickleball on the professional level and win triple crowns, let alone not even maybe win tournaments, but let alone win triple crowns in the sport of pickleball. What you've done is going to go down in the record books and will stay there forever.
Boom. You heard from Rick Barry, NBA legend and pickleball legend, here at the Pickleball Show with Curtis Reese and Glenn Gant in Dallas, Texas. Well, we're going to go right into the kitchen here. This is a segment, Rick, where we just kind of get to know a little bit about you and funny things. It's called In the Kitchen. And what right now when you were coming in from your flight, what music were you listening to? I was listening to a band called Lord Huron. They're based out of Michigan, they're Chicago area. Who are you cranking up? Hello? Rick, you there?
I'm here, but I haven't heard anything.
Oh, boy.
Ah.
Something. Can you hear me now? How's that?
I hear you. I can't hear any music.
Oh, there's no music, man. I'm sorry. What do you? What were you listening to right now? What's a favorite band you like to listen to right now? I'm sorry.
I'm not a big music fan, but I mean, I
Okay.
enjoy it. I appreciate stuff. I love my wife and I love watching The Voice.
There you go.
Man, got a lot of great singers on this
That's
year.
even
They may
better.
have the best on, and you know, so I have great respect. I have great respect and admiration for anybody who excels in whatever it is that they're doing. Doesn't have to be sports or basketball.
Amen.
Music, whatever it could be. I mean, I really do. I just appreciate and admire greatness. And there's so many great people, and they have a lot of the great coaches that are on The Voice this time, and a lot of really outstanding singers. I'm sure the coaches, it's very difficult for them. I'm saying if I were in their position and I was teaching somebody doing basketball, how would I feel about the fact that you worked with them, you got them to this point, get to the finals, and then the fans get the vote? I mean, oh my God.
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
come on. I mean, seriously.
That's
I mean, here's the problem with that is the best talent isn't necessarily going to
True.
win that competition.
That's
No.
true. What's your favorite movie? You got a favorite movie you like? I like
Oh my!
Caddyshack.
I'm a huge movie buff, and so there are so many movies that I love, and so many TV shows. I love stuff. I yeah, there's too many to
You got
even
one,
try to
Glenn?
think. I go in different genres and stuff,
Yeah.
but I mean, I love the Star. When I was a kid, I used to write stories about space.
Oh, cool.
So I mean, Star Wars. I
There
mean,
you
oh my
go.
God.
Oh, yes.
Classics.
Yes.
I'm such a Star Wars fan. I love all of that stuff. I mean, I love the Marvel stuff because I used to read all of those books. I had such an amazing collection of comic books and stuff. Probably the worst thing my father ever did to me is
Threw them out, didn't
I
he?
did something and I pissed him off enough that he burned all my comic books.
Oh.
We had a furnace down and
Glenn?
you put coal and stuff, and I had to watch him throw my comics into
Oh,
the
wow.
furnace. That was
Oh,
just
what?
a horrible thing that he did. You know how much money that would have been worth? Because I had brand new ones that probably would have been, top of the line stuff. It would have been worth a fortune.
Oh.
The books that I had, the comics I had.
Usually the stories that mom, just tossed them, out of the attic one day because you were gone. But I've never heard that dad actually made you watch sacrifice your
That was.
comics.
I mean, now when I look
Devastating.
back on, oh my God, the amount of money that I watched being burned there, the value of those things, just like the same thing with stuff that I had. Why would I not have kept all my uniforms and warm ups and things like that? The value of those things would have been off the freaking charts as well.
All right, so this one's my fun. We got a favorite sports team other than the Golden State Warriors, or favorite sports team?
Well, Warriors are my favorite team. I was always a big Raiders fan because I knew Al Davis really well, and so
Oh, wow.
in the Bay Area, and so I was kind of happy to see what the 49ers did to the Eagles their last game.
Glenn,
That
what you
was
got?
kind of cool to watch. And but I again, I love watching greatness, but I also, even though they're huge rivals of the Oakland Raiders, I love watching Patrick Mahomes play.
My Chiefs, baby. That's where I was born.
Oh man, you just said the magic
I
words
think
for him.
Mahomes is so much fun to watch. I really I just enjoy the hell out of him, and and of course Steph Curry. I just love the way Steph Curry plays the game, and I mean he's having so much fun
know.
out there when he plays. He's changed the game. He's kind of like the Tiger Woods of basketball. Because Tiger changed the game with the way he played and started working out, and they never had trailers. I used to broadcast the PGA Tour when my broadcasting career. They didn't have a trailer with workout stuff. They didn't have anything. The guys are over there beers afterwards and whatever. I mean, Tiger changed it, and I think Steph Curry has done the same thing as far as the greatest long distance shooter in the history of the game. The guy's absolutely amazing. He took himself from somebody that was not highly thought of. I mean, nobody was talking about Steph Curry coming in when he came in the draft. He turned himself into an all-star caliber player. Just amazing. I love watching him play.
Well, what could you have done with today's NBA with your game, translated to it?
Well, I've had people say to me a lot of times, Rick, you guys would have a tough time playing with these guys today. I said, are you on drugs?
Same thing with pickleball
Seriously,
too, bro.
really understand? Do you understand what you're saying and how foolish it is?
Yeah.
Back when I played, I didn't have a strength coach. I didn't have an agility coach. I didn't have a dietitian. I didn't have masseuses and massage people to work on me all the time. We had nothing, absolutely zero. Okay. We didn't fly charter planes so that after a game you go and you have a meal catered by Wolfgang Puck and you have a great meal flying to the next city so you can get there and get a decent night's sleep. No, we would have to go out with our per diem, which when I first went in the league was $8 a day, find a place open to try to get something to eat late at night, get to bed, and then we drove ourselves in rental cars. Okay,
Yes.
that's how we did things, and get to the airport the next day early in the morning for the first commercial flight to get out to go and be able to to play a game the next night. After a game, you go in and wash your shirt and and, and pants out in the shower, hoping and praying that it would dry before the game the next night.
Ugh.
You know, and so that's what we had. So if I were playing today, I would be faster, stronger, quicker, more endurance, jump higher. It would be crazy how much better I would be. There's only two things that I would have to be better at. Everybody talked about me that I was the original point forward. Okay.
Mhm.
I was one of the few times ever forward in the top 10 in assist a bunch of
Mhm.
times. So I would have to be a better ball handler. People said, wow, Rick Barry can really handle the ball. Well, I was the first guy 6 feet 8 inches tall, be able to dribble up the floor, righty, lefty, lead the break, whatever.
Yep.
I was a good passer, but I would have to be a way better ball handler. But that's easy. What do? I go spend time, do two ball drills, and just spend time doing it. You can improve on that easily. Okay.
Mhm.
The other thing I would have to do that I would not be happy with is I was a 33% 3-point shooter, which is equivalent to 50% statistically, which is fine and it's acceptable. 30% is the cutoff. Anything below 30, you shouldn't even be shooting it. You should be on the bench if you're taking a shot, unless the clock's running out. 33 was okay, but if I were playing today, I would not be satisfied or happy with myself if I wasn't a 40% shooter from 3-point range. So those are the two things that I would have to get better at, and that would be it. And then, of course, I would now be shooting my free throws with my technique at the end of my career. When I changed it, I still think I was the best free throw shooter because my career average is 90%, but I had shot tons of free throws, over 10 a game early in my career, but I was only in the high 80s.
Yep.
So I got to the point where I got in the 90s. But my last 6 years, when I changed the technique, I averaged over 92% from the free throw line. And my last 2 years, I averaged over 94% from the free throw line. And I brag about it because it's the only part of the game of basketball that you can be totally selfish and help your team.
That's a good point. Well, we're talking with NBA legend here and Glenn Gant, Lake Highlands resident. Last question for you before we get you out of here and wish you luck in your tournament this weekend is, okay, so I like to ask all my guests, it's Mr. Glenn or it's Rick Barry here, the Rick Barry. Tell me something funny about you all that you think people don't know about that would be unique. Well, my thing is that I'm a triplet, and I have two other siblings, and we're 2 minutes apart. It's boy, girl, boy. And I'll let Glenn, you get to go next.
Oh, you're putting everybody on the spot.
I know.
I just I don't know. I don't have anything great for you. I'm buying some time
Okay,
for Rick.
buy some for Rick.
So Rick's gonna jump in a second because he's got this type of thing in his bag. But no, I just I like to sit back here and listen, and I'm gonna bail out.
All right, Glenn, what you got, sir? Rick, what you got?
I don't know. I mean, it's something that's funny and somebody doesn't know about
It's
me.
unique. I think the Marvel comics.
Well,
Was
the
cool.
thing about it is that now you walked. We talked about the stuff that, I mean, after my career, I went out and became really good in two other sports.
Mhm.
I mean, so now some people are learning about that and understanding it, knowing it. I think I'm a great athlete.
There you
I
go.
was a great athlete.
Are.
And there's not very many things in sports. I actually was a better baseball player in high school than I was a basketball player. I was an all-state baseball player. It was just too
Wow.
slow. I'm an A-type personality, and it was just way too slow for me.
Yeah, I just don't see you really enjoying baseball. I mean, it's too slow.
I love watching great players and see what they can do. And I've had unbelievable. I mean, one of my great things that I did is that on my radio show, this is really cool. I had Sandy Koufax on my show
No way.
for an hour. for an hour.
What? There
An
it is.
hour.
See, something unique. I told you there's always
He's
something.
got it.
And then also I had Willie Mays, my boyhood hero, on the first show I did when I had my own show on KBR radio years ago. I had Willie Mays on and we did the first hour was a charity auction we were doing. And so it was a 3-hour show, but I only had 2 hours of just my show.
Wow.
And I had Willie Mays on for all 2 hours. And then I also had Barry Bonds on after he set the record for his
No
home run.
way. Wait.
3 full hours. And I gave him a chance to talk about stuff that nobody heard before. He also made it known that he had a death threat during that season on my show. And so those were really kind of cool things that I was able to do. And then to be able to do the broadcasting that I did and to be able to meet the kind of people that I've met, because I said I have such an admiration for great people who have, who are great in what they do. And so I just think about some of the people who I've met in my life. It's pretty amazing, Frank Sinatra. I mean, some of these great actors. I mean, the actresses, famous politicians. I mean, and thank God I didn't do it. I was asked to go on the trip when Bobby Kennedy got assassinated. I had a chance. I was asked to go. I would have been with Rosie Greer and stuff. I would have been there. Thank God that I didn't go on that thing. That would have been just horrendous to have experienced that firsthand. So, but yeah, no, I've had such a blessed life. People, everybody should have the life that I've had. I mean, the only problem is that they forgot 3 zeros on my contract when I played. That's
that was good.
Let me give you something. I'll give you something just to let people have
Yes,
an
sir.
understanding.
We're listening.
This past NBA season, the lowest paid player in the NBA, the guy who hardly ever plays, made twice as much money as I made in the best season I ever had. Wow. And there are players today who have contracts that when they play their first game of the season, they will make as much money or more than I made in the best full season that I ever got paid for in the NBA. That's how crazy it is.
Whoa. Well,
yeah.
Well, speaking of crazy and horrendous, this concludes our show with Mr. Glenn Gant, Curtis Reese, and Rick Barry. And, well, Rick, thank you so much for coming on. And I'll let you know a secret, too. You must have paid it forward because you're my first true celebrity guest, and I'm scared poopless. And that's why Glenn's here. But I appreciate you coming on, sir.
Sadly, I'm your
it's great. I'm glad you're doing
doubles partner.
What's that, Rick?
I'm glad you're doing some stuff, something related to pickleball. I'm huge into that. As I say, I've got a number of companies I'm involved with. Let me give you the code and where people can go if they get these products. So for Go Sleeves, it's GOSLEEVES. Maybe you can post it on your site or whatever.
We're going to put on the text.
GoSleeves.com. Okay, and remember the code for all of these is small RB 24. Okay, my number. So GoSleeves.com. Kinesiology tape built into these sleeves. They're unbelievable. I absolutely love them. I wore the first one because of my left knee. I had 4 knee operations on. It feels so good, and I love it so much that I actually wear it on my good knee as well. And so I never play pickleball without them. So, and they have stuff for your calves and for your elbows and whatever. And I actually wear the sleeve to help, to not get pickleball elbow. And so that's one. And the other one is Medicilef, MEDICILEF, MEDICILEAF.com. Their Platinum Pro product is unbelievable, but you can use the discount for any products there. And then go to ALOEMD.com, ALOEMD.com. The Ultimate Repair X is another amazing cream with a formulation of different cannabinoids that are in there to help. I have seen amazing things happen with people who have come up to me who used them when I was at tournaments, and they come by our booth and they get it. They come back and say, "Oh my God, what's in that stuff? It's unbelievable." I mean, so check those out.
Yes, sir.
Put the code, get a good discount, and enjoy.
RB24, correct?
Our small RB24 is the code to put in on any of those sites to get a discount for anything you choose to purchase. And I hope as I say is I just hope that they work as well for you as they have for me, because they've been fantastic. And I would like to also extend my best to anybody who's listening, for all the Jewish people, for what they're going through in Israel. It's just horrendous. But happy Hanukkah and happy holidays coming up for everybody else, whatever it's Kwanzaa or Christmas, whatever it is you're celebrating. I hope you have a blessed Christmas, good health, and prosperity.
Amen to all that, brothers. Out. Thank you, Rick. You're the best.